Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is MJ, and you're watching MJ Make My Day. We are live streaming in New Jersey, and of course, we are also live streaming over Usapang Kalye Solutions, of course, MJ Make My Day, and Marlon Di Zapanta. And in the Philippines, it's already what? August 29, 10 in the morning. Okay, so. Alright, let's give Ashley a big round of applause, everybody. Alright, welcome to MJ Make My Day, and you're watching the MJ Make My Day episode 11 live in New Jersey. Streaming po tayo at syempre, we're also live na napapanood sa Philippines. Okay, and of course, I'm very happy and very proud that one of my closest friends are here to join us. We'll be talking about love, we'll be talking about living, and we'll also be talking about life itself. It's gonna be a night of pure inspiration. Okay, so as you can see in our monitor, our Zoom meeting, Ashley's here with me right now, and of course on YouTube and Usapang Kalye, sa mga Kalye Natics, at syempre sa Kalye 11, welcome, 30,000 plus viewers. Wow, that's great. One more applause, everybody. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Again, my name is MJ, and you're watching MJ Make My Day episode 11 with none other than Ashley E. I'm going to introduce to her in a short while. But of course, philosophers have long debated how to find happiness in life. Seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, achieving tranquility, and accepting nothingness. When people are asked about what makes them happy in life, we find three keys according to the researchers in the field of positive psychology, the so-called science of happiness. The first is sufficient material resources. This means no worries about meeting our basic biological needs. What are those? Food, clothing, shelter, health, and so on and so forth. It also includes the means to do things in life that are enjoyable. In a modern Western society, it simply means that we need money, which is true, of course. It comes as no surprise then that income is positively correlated with happiness, but only if the other two keys are in hand. What are these other two keys? The second key is sufficient social resources. We all need to have meaningful relationships with family, members, and friends. Our social needs vary according to our personality. We have to understand that extroverts need a lot more social interaction than introverts. None of us can be happy unless our baseline social needs are met. This also explains why pursuing money doesn't always lead to increased happiness. When we work long hours for big bucks, what would happen? We may end up sacrificing our social relationships. What's the sense of holding down a second job to pay off that boat if you never have time to take your family on it? Furthermore, whether you're rich or poor depends more on your attitude. Attitude that your paycheck. That is why millionaires can get depressed too, because they are not billionaires. They probably need more money, right? And the third key is living in a stable environment. All of us need to make sense of the world and to understand our place. Faith fills that role for many. Okay, so it is very important. So you can have all three keys: material resources, social resources, and a stable environment, and still be unhappy. Why do you think so? All right, so I'm going to leave that question to all of you, but please help me welcome one more time. I need a bigger and a louder round of applause for the one and only Miss Ashley. Come on, everybody.
Hi, everyone. It's really exciting to be kind of in the future in the Philippines. This is already tomorrow.
Oh, Ashley, you have to say, magandang umaga po.
How do I say that?
Magandang
Magandang
umaga
umaga
po.
po.
Yeah,
Magandang
umaga po. Meaning to say, MJ is good looking. No, I'm just teasing, alright. No, it means good morning in the Philippines. Yeah, they're watching over in the Philippines. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I would like to say hi to our viewers from Singapore, Mr. Phil. Yes, they're also watching us from Singapore. Thank you very much. I want to say hi to Phil and his family, Gia, and their children, of course. And for all of you, I would like to tell you that Ashley is actually a licensed social worker practicing in New Jersey. After graduating from Rutgers in 2018, Ashley has worked in the healthcare field as what? As a case manager. She enjoys using her diverse background in makeup. That's why you can see how pretty she is. And musical theater to connect with her patients. All right, I don't want to say that we came from the same school. All right, NJCU, our professor watching tonight also.
Yeah.
And Ashley loves having fun, spending time with her husband, Chris. Are we going to meet him later on? And
if I pulled him out, he would be
okay. All right. And rescue dogs. And of course, this is very important, Ashley. Making meaningful connections with the people around her. Okay. All right. So I just want to say hi also to Mr. JC, my friend. JC, I know it's not a really a happy day for you, but we're going to send prayers for you and your family.
Oh, praise
Yeah.
you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Ashley, let me go to my favorite chair in the house. So tell me something first. What did you do for today, so that the audience will get to know you more?
Today was kind of a special day. I decided to take the day off, and my husband decided to take the day off. My husband never takes time off.
Wow.
And we went to our favorite bakery in Ridgewood, Souk, and we went to the botanical gardens and just walked around for a little bit. We watched a movie, hung out with the dogs. It was just a nice day.
Okay, I can tell with your smile, it's very natural, very organic. That's what they say. All right. That is very that is basically the purpose of the conversation for tonight. You know, we are not here to preach everybody, but at least to get engaged and be inspired of what is this about Ashley, and what can you say about living, especially that not only in America but also around the world we're actually experiencing the pandemic, the global pandemic, COVID-19, and a lot of people were also affected by it.
For sure. I mean, it feels like we're all like in this global mourning period together as 2020 has unfolded. A lot of our expectations for what we thought the year was going to be kind of just got unraveled one by one, and we're all just rolling with it together. For some people, it meant losing family members and loved ones. For other people, it could have meant losing their jobs, or for a few of my friends, they were planning on having their big weddings this year, and their weddings were canceled. So it's mourning in different phases, but I think if we all can just pull through together and support one another, we'll get through it.
Absolutely. And I don't want to add more burden to these people that are actually planning to have a big wedding. They cancel, and in spite of what is going on, it's very hard to get the deposit that they give to the restaurant, which is, it's very sad, All right, so
Small businesses, for sure.
how do you define a good life or a successful life, Ashley?
A good life or a successful life? I just think that if you're able to have a roof over your head, clothes on your back, people who love you, and the basic necessities, you're living a good life. You're already there. There's so many people who don't have, and I learned that a lot with my mom. My mom was disabled growing up, and she never gave in to being sick or anything like that. She was always like, if we can get up in the morning, we know who our name is. God has blessed us. So
Exactly.
that's a good life to me.
Yeah, I remember. I remember this famous Hollywood actor, Mr. Nicolas Cage. During one interview, actually, he was asked by a reporter, and the question was, what is your most valuable possession? And I was, when he answered that question, I make sure that I focus on what he's going to say next. And you know what answer Mr. Cage was? He said, his sanity. He said, yeah, he didn't mention anything about wealth, about money or anything. But he said, as long as he has his sanity, then that is his greatest possession in life. And I think that is important. Same as what you were saying, Ashley. So, do you believe that a person needs to first overcome serious setbacks or challenges in life to be truly successful? Does it really necessary to have undergone a lot of challenges in life?
I don't think it's necessary. I think definitely if you have overcome some obstacles and you are still moving through, yes, you are successful. But there are people who live a genuinely good life, a very privileged life from the beginning, and don't have to deal with certain adversities. I think that to live a good life, you should, instead of overcoming coupled with overcoming circumstances, being aware of what you have, what you could lose, is success. You know, knowing that this is what I have, I could very easily lose all of this tomorrow, and I have my breath, I know who I am, my family knows who I am, I have love. That's a successful life to me.
Very well said, I think. So it is really important. And, you know, sometimes we cannot really avoid some challenges in life. I think challenges make us really stronger as a person. And the more challenges that we overcome, I think that will give us that faith in life that we really just have to move on, and whatever happens next, we don't have any control of what is the situation is, but I truly believe that we do have control in how are we going to react on that certain situation.
100%. I completely agree with you. For a long time, I was kind of like a loose cannon, you know, like if I felt something, I felt it immediately. I didn't really think about how I was reacting. I would just react, right? But when you take a moment, take a breath, and realize that you are not in control of the situation, you know, God is in control of the situation. All you are in control of is yourself. That changes everything, because you can choose to be miserable, you can choose to be sad, or you can choose to be grateful, you can choose to be present, and you can choose to be patient. And patience was not my strong suit. It's still something I work on. But, you know, for me, it's pray, trust, wait. And just trying to measure myself.
What are the things that actually you get affected with? Things that other people say, or what do you consider something that really affect you a lot?
For me, I think because of my culture, I grew up, I'm Hispanic, and in my culture, my mom always mentioned, like, what will people think? What will people say? So for me, I was always worried that people wouldn't like me, or I would do something or say something that would offend someone, and then they would say something about me. For my reputation and how people perceive me is very important to me. So I do get very deeply affected when someone says something negative, or when I see people saying negative things about other people, or doing bad things to other people. It just really gets me, because it's so important to me.
Absolutely. And I think it's, for me, I would always say that it's just normal to be affected with all of these things, especially when people are saying things behind you. But I always just say, I just always remind myself that's why people are behind me, because that's what they do. That's their business.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have to laugh at it, right? Although, of course, as a human being, we also affected somehow. But just like what you said, you know, what do we have a choice not to get affected of that? Absolutely not.
It's like that saying, you know, and this is going to sound kind of silly, but like, you know, when they say haters are going to hate, you know, like, you can't control the naysayers. You can't control what people are going to say about you, because there are going to be people on either side anyway. There are going to be people who love you, who think that you're amazing, that you're the greatest thing ever, and then there are going to be people who, you're just not their cup of tea.
Yeah,
And if you focus too much on trying to please everyone, you'll never be happy.
and in our society, we call them bashers, right? I just remind myself, you know what? The only people that get that being bashed are the people that are popular. So that's what it is. Anyway, I think same thing with when you're eating with food. Sometimes you need some spice. To feel that it will make you more interesting to try in other ways, and after that, then you feel good about yourself. So my next question to you, Ash, is what do you value most and why?
Oh, so for me, I am a woman of faith. I was raised in the church, but for me, I didn't really start to take my faith so seriously until I was like maybe 27 or 28. And I feel like my faith in God has helped me overcome a lot, and has strengthened my relationship with my husband, my relationship with myself, and given me like a whole new family and friends. And for me, my belief in God and my belief in why I'm put on this earth, and the fact that
Like the purpose, our
I have
purpose
a
in this
purpose,
life.
that's everything to me. I feel like without my faith in God, my life is just
Absolutely. I think a lot of our viewers are actually agreeing with what you're saying right now. Again, with the first question that we have, or that a while ago, sometimes things happen, and because of that, you actually realizing to yourself that I can do more, and just like what you said, because I'm not saying that you were gone in a situation that actually open up your eyes and your mind that I can do this, and my faith is much stronger, something like that. Okay, but just like what I said, the viewers will definitely agree with us, and I know that a lot of people, and I can see from our Facebook chat that we're actually getting a lot of messages, and I think that is very, very important. That hearing Ashley saying about this is like representing themselves also, because I think for a lot of people it's very hard to express themselves at the same time. So that's why they just stayed in one corner, cry, and not talk to anybody, because it's so difficult to express themselves, that at the same time they're probably having a second thought or being afraid that people might not be able to understand them. But at least with what you're saying with faith, I think when it comes to faith, whether whether it's religion or spiritual base, I think as long as you have faith in something that is powerful, I think that is important to to everybody.
sure. I know when we're looking at, so in social work and practice, when we're looking at someone's social supports, right, and someone dealing with depression, someone who has faith is more likely to persevere, or have that kind of social support with their church, with their family, and also with their faith to keep them stronger. And I've seen that countless times with all my patients, where you talk to them and they're like, I have God and He's pushing me through, and I have my family and everyone's praying for me, and that's helpful for a lot of people, whether it's believing in Jesus and God like I do, or if they have another faith, it is something that is a strengthener for sure.
Actually, I was about to ask you that question, because I don't want to ask how many patients or clients you meet every single day, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot. So how do you inspire them? What are the advice that you're giving them? Is it really important to incorporate faith and the belief that they're going to get better? Is there a way?
Yes, if I know that the patient is a person of faith, and faith is something that's important to them, then I will talk to them about it. if that's something that they're willing to talk about. Of course, I'm not one to try to push my beliefs
Interject,
on a
yeah.
patient, especially in that kind of setting.
Uh-huh.
But I have had patients who, especially have dealt with a lot of end of life, who either come from the Catholic Church, which I used to sing for the Catholic Church for many years, and I know a lot of the hymns that they know. So when they're,
Do you also sing for your patients?
yes, I sing for my patients all the time.
Wow.
So if they're sad, or if I have had patients who were dying, and I ask them, do you know this hymn? Do you know Amazing Grace? Do you know the Prayer of St. Francis? And if they say yes, then I'll sing it with them, and we sing it together. And or I'll ask their family member, do you want to sing a song? Will it make you feel better? And if they say yes, then I sing it with them, and it helps. It helps a lot. So I try to connect with that. When you're dealing, I find that when you're dealing with a patient, oftentimes by the time they get to me, the social worker, they've answered a lot of the same questions that I have to ask, like 5, 10, 15 times, and they don't really want to talk to me by that point. So I try to find little cracks that I can just kind of make my way in there, whether it's music or something funny or faith or family or culture, whatever it is. I try to find that little crack so that I can open that window.
Of course, and then from there you can start a conversation and enlighten them. You know what? You did mention about the end of life journey, and I think a lot of people are not really able to discuss that matter. And I'm asking this question because of your profession as a licensed social worker. How do you actually talk to a family or a client when it comes to that? I myself, I don't know actually how to start a conversation because number one, I'm scared for myself and not be able to use the proper words in a professional manner. And then second, I'm scared about what would be the outcome of that moment, especially to talk to the family, talk to them. Where do you get your strength? So how do you open up the conversation?
So I always look at it from the lens of my job. So as a social worker, my job is to advocate for my patient and what is best for my patient, right? So sometimes that means that I have to advocate for my patient to a family member, which is really difficult. So for me, I always do it with a nurse. I'll go in with a nurse or a doctor if I'm going to have the initial conversation.
It's the team,
For sure, it's a big team effort. So the nurse, the doctor will be there to answer the clinical questions, the questions that are not within my scope. And I'm there to talk about, how are you feeling right now? How does this make you feel? Maybe the patient has cancer and has gone through chemo or radiation, and they're tired and they don't really want to do it anymore. In our society, we tend to tell people, you got to keep fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to fight this. But what happens when the person doesn't want to fight anymore?
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be our tendency as a family member to make them feel like they're quitting, to make them feel like they're failing. When in reality, it's never going to be easy to say goodbye to someone. Never. It's our instinct to want someone to be in our lives forever. And there's no way to pass away without causing suffering. There will be suffering in the end for the people left behind. But what I want is to make sure that my patients have dignity in the end, that they're not in pain.
Yeah,
and if they want to do everything, then I'll be right there with you. We'll go down swinging and we'll fight together. But if you want to be out of pain and you just want somebody to hold your hand, I'm for that too. And I'm for helping the family understand that process as it unfolds over time.
Okay, you have background in makeup, you have background in music. So how did you get yourself in this line of work?
Okay, so I got my undergraduate degree in musical theater at Jersey City
Yeah,
University.
yay!
There was a time where, for a while, I really did want to do it. I wanted to perform, I wanted to audition, I wanted to do all of that.
Uh-huh.
And then I was just kind of tired of not being part of the union. And when you're not part of the union, they want you
It's
to
so
do
hard,
a
right?
certain, really, really hard. And I wanted to spend more time with my family. I wanted to be with my husband and my dogs. And I was really depressed. I went to, I started seeing a therapist.
Okay.
And I was like, can you help me? I don't know what I want to do. And he was the one who said to me, you know, Ashley, I think you would make a great social worker.
Wow. But by the way,
He was a
yeah.
licensed social worker too. So he said, I think you would make a great social worker. And he wrote my recommendation for school. And I applied to one school, and I said, God, if it's your
meant
will
for
for
you.
me to be a social worker, let me get into the school. I got into that school, and the rest was
And it's
history.
not just a school because you graduated from Rutgers University,
Yeah.
which is a very prominent university in the United States or
I'm
around
really
the
proud
world
of
too.
that.
Yeah. So yeah. But by the way, I just wanted to all our audience. I would like to let you know that Ashley is actually an amazing singer. She's an artist herself. She acts too. She sings. You're gonna see that part of her later on. Okay. So, I do believe that if that is something that you really want to pursue while doing your job, your profession as a social work, there will always be an opportunity for you. All right.
The umbrella of social work is so big. You know, sometimes people, I remember when I said I wanted to be a social worker, people were like, oh, that's going to be such a hard life. You're going to be so poor. And why are you trying to take children away from their families? And I'm like, no, no, no. I don't want to work with children. I want to work with older people and people with chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
And people didn't even realize you could do that as a social
Yeah,
worker.
which is a lot tougher, I would say, because just like what I said, especially dealing with the family members and letting them believe about the quality of life after the end of the journey. It's so difficult, but with a social worker like you, that's why I admire you a lot. And I think this is not just a profession, but this is also like a calling for you. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of your clients are watching right now and probably, hey Ashley, this is us. Thank you so much for your help. And okay. So Ashley, now you talk about profession. Let's continue. So, what do what do you regret about being this type of profession? Is there anything that you regret about it?
I regret not going into it sooner. I regret not going into healthcare sooner. I love healthcare. I love working with patients.
I do.
Isn't it the greatest? It's so
Absolutely.
rewarding. I wish that I had the foresight, but I mean, when you're 18 years old, who knows anything at 18 years old?
You're still young. Don't make me feel like I'm old, okay?
But yeah, when you're 18, you don't know anything. So I kind of wish that I had the nerve and the gumption to go into healthcare a lot sooner. That's my one regret.
Okay, so that is your regret. And what would be your proudest? What is it something that make you really feel proud about what you're doing?
Oh man. Okay. So this is gonna sound silly. This is gonna sound really silly, but I so I had this family that I worked with for a really long time, and it was a really tough case. It was an end of life case, and it was really difficult. But before the patient passed away, I sang for the patient, and after this patient was gone, I just ended up forging a really good connection with the family, and I still keep in touch with them. And to me, being a part of that person's life, even though I was only a little bit a part of that person's life, really solidified for me how much I love working in end-of-life care. and how much I am not afraid to face the death all the time, and see it as a really beautiful thing. You wouldn't normally think of death as something that could be beautiful, but I have seen people reaching the end of their life and making connections with their family members, and spending much needed time with their children, and gaining new insight on their life that they hadn't really thought of for so many years. So I know it makes me kind of weird, but yeah, building a connection with that family was kind of a life-changing experience for me. So yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Did you ever cry while you were at work?
I did. When you're in social work, a lot of times you are dealing with things that are very much out of your control, and you are doing what you can in the limits of the system, and sometimes you wish you could do more, but you just can't. And there was one time where I was just so frustrated because I had looked to see how I could make something work, and I just realized that I couldn't. And it was when you and I were working together. I was a baby social worker, so I was still learning, And I went into the stairway, and I just cried. I started sobbing, and one of the therapists was just like, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this together." And we did, because we had such a good team, So
Absolutely. All right. I can't believe we're actually talking for almost for more than 30 minutes already. That's how fast it is. Let me pause for a while. I would like to say hi to all our viewers. I would like to say Ian Marinas, thank you so much for watching. Mommy Heidi, thank you so much to my ate Elma from California, and also to Joben from the Philippines. They're all watching right now. For those that are watching that I wasn't able to mention your name, you know who you are. I'm gonna say thank you later on. Okay, so 33 minutes passed, so I would like to take this opportunity to ask one more question, and then I'm gonna present to you and showcasing your talent, Ashley. Are you ready? But before you do that, these are my question for you. Okay, what do you think are your 3 best qualities of being in this profession?
Okay, first one, this is going to sound crazy. I'm weird, and I love the fact that I'm weird.
I'm weird too.
I love the fact that I'm weird because it gives me the opportunity to find different ways to connect with my patients. So that is one of the things I love, and I find helps me in my profession. Number 2, I'm spicy sometimes, so if I have to be strong and I have to stand up for myself, I will. Number 3, I just really love people. I love people. I love talking to people, connecting with people, having fun with people, being around people. And when you love being around people, this job is a little easier, because my job is literally to be social. It's in my title.
Yeah, but it's not easy being a social worker. I know that. All right. So for those of you who are watching right now, if you have those 3 qualities, being weird, just I said that, being feisty, and loving the things that you do, you know where to go next time. Okay, if you are planning to switch with your profession, here it is. All right. So Ashley, if you're ready, I would like to give you this floor. All right. Philippines, Usapang Kalye, Kalyonatics, Kalye 11, MJ Make My Day. And also on our Facebook page, MJ Make My Day. Please, help me welcome to serenade everyone, the one and only, Miss Ashley.
So before I start singing, I just want to let you know, in me being weird, I have this little microphone that my sister-in-law gave me, so I will be using it.
Oh, so we have to thank your sister-in-law, okay? All right, here's your applause, Ashley.
All right, here we go. We're going to start.
Like, you will never have to get back to.
Remember when I started worried about an ad? There it is. Here we go. All right, I'm sorry. lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. And God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith to guiding change. And when you get the choice to sit it out again, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living lightly, taking chances, but there were taken. Loving lightly, no mistake, but it's worth taking. Don't let some heaven's cause leave you bitter. When you come close to feeling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out again, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out again, dance. I hope you 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 dance.
All right. Everybody, a big round of applause for Ashley. Okay, I'm looking at our monitor a while. There's a lot of people that actually sending love to you. Hi, Gladys Reyes. All right, beautiful.
Oh,
She said,
she's like another mom. She's like another mom to
really?
me.
Okay, she said, beautiful words and voice. Yeah.
Aww.
All right, so Gladys, thank you very much for watching. That was wonderful. See, I told you. So maybe you can do during daytime, you can do your profession as a licensed social worker, and maybe probably during your spare time, or I usually call it like the weekend job. You can be a singer, you know.
Well, I
Yeah.
sing at my church on
You do
the weekend.
on the weekend. That's what you
And
do.
you know, I have to tell you, I enjoy music more now that I don't get paid for it. When I was getting paid to do music, it really felt like a job and I wasn't
Yeah.
enjoying it.
I
And
know.
now that I get to do it on my own time and my own terms, I love it.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about going to a place every single day and you hate what you're doing? Like,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I have to say I did have those kind of jobs before where I was not enjoying it. I would get up in the morning and be like, I have to go to work.
Exactly. That's why you should not stop fighting. You have to keep moving on. And you know, I learned it also that you know, if you're not happy in whatever you're doing, don't just stay there. Don't get, you know, there are other ways or there are other things that you can do to make
Yes,
yourself happy.
and focus on, so instead of just focusing on all the things you hate
Mm-hmm.
about work, focus on the things you like about work so
Exactly.
that you know when you're going to the next job
Mm-hmm.
what it is you're looking for.
Yeah.
Or if you're looking to change your career. So, for example, I knew when I was going into social work that I loved working with people. And one thing, this
That's-
is again, I've always loved older people. Ever since I was a little girl, I was an only child, and I would. Okay, so for my cousin's christening party, I went across the hall they were in a VFW, like a veterans hall, and I hung out with all the veterans. And
Really?
yeah, I just loved being around older people. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
So,
I think you can find accomplished doing that kind of job, especially when you're in the right environment, the right people that you're dealing with. And I always say it, you know what, if you're very unhappy with what are you at the moment, it's not just the environment itself, but it could be within you. Because I got this advice from a friend of mine, which is actually I think an eye opener for me as well. And she said that wherever you are, Marlon, your happiness will start within yourself. It's not about the people, it's not about the environment, because a lot of people are like trying to change the environment, trying to change, and then when they get there, they feel the same. It seems like nothing has changed at all.
I heard, I heard a pastor say this over the weekend, and it was, you are the most toxic person you know, right?
Wow.
So sometimes you need to be open to the fact
Mm-hmm.
that the toxic person in the situation is you.
Yes.
And if you change you, and if you work on you,
Mm-hmm.
your situation and your
Well,
environment can get better.
That's okay, and I can tell with the smile that you're actually giving us right now. All right, Ashley, I have another question. We talk about your line of work. We talk about the things that you believe in, and my next question would be is I know that you're married to Chris. Was there any? How did you realize that he's the right person actually, that you are meant to be?
Everything, well, except for the first year. The first year I met him, we actually didn't like each other. But the next
What did you
year,
say?
we didn't like each other
Okay.
the first year.
Are you
No.
sure Chris is not watching right now, right?
Oh, he would be the first one to tell you. He did not like me at all.
No.
He thought that I was ignoring him, and I swear to this day I was not ignoring him. I just didn't see him. He's so much taller than I am, and I was going through a breakup, so I always had my head down, so I wasn't looking up. But the next year when we met again, a lot of my friends knew that he liked me, and they were the ones telling me, he's a really good guy. You should give him a chance. And he kind of conspired with them to hang out with me one day, and he's just such a nice, wholesome guy, and everything with him from the beginning was just easy. Introducing him to my mom was easy. Introducing him to my dad was easy. So it was. I just felt like, and I do have to say this because I don't know if there's anybody watching this who's like, oh, I'm single. How can I find someone? I can tell you right now that I don't think I would have been ready to be with my husband if I had not acknowledged within myself that I was okay being alone. I had really gotten to a place where I was like, I'm fine. I'm living the single life. I have God. I'm good. And I don't need to be with him. And we actually agreed that we would probably be better off as friends because we didn't agree on certain things. And then later on, we decided to get together, but it wasn't until I was willing to say, yeah, I could just not be your girlfriend. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
That I was really ready to let someone in.
A few days ago, I was looking at your Facebook, and you posted something when Chris was just a boyfriend of yours, and now that he is your husband, you're falling in love with him again, something like that. So where did this came from?
So, my husband, and I really have to say, he's the most caring, compassionate person on the planet, and he's the
He's
most
watching
patient
right now, I
person.
think. That's why you're saying that.
I won't tell anyone. He is so patient, and he puts up with me, and I am not the easiest person to deal with. But he just takes time to do things that are important. Like one day I was working a really late night at work, and I wanted to cook chicken for him, and I knew that I wasn't gonna make it on time to make the chicken. So I said, "Hey, would you mind starting the chicken?" And he said, "It's already done. I already cooked it." And I'm like, "Oh, I love you. You're the best." But that might seem small, but he does little things like that all the time. And he's just funny, and he makes me laugh, and I'm so, I'm so in love with him, and it's
Like you
nice.
said it, he's actually watching right now.
He's watching, and he paid me to say this.
Were there any other during those years and up to now? Are there any challenges that within your relationship, and how do you work through these disagreements or differences or challenges?
So when we first got married, we were very broke. We had like no money. My husband was working at Whole Foods, and I was still trying to audition, and it was really hard. But I feel like the reason why we're in a good place now is because we struggled together. And there was never a thought in my mind when things were hard that I didn't want to be with him. The thought in my mind was, we need to fight for this. I need to fight for this. This is worth fighting for. And when you struggle together, you can enjoy the better days. Last year we went on our first real vacation since we got married to Portugal, and it was the best time ever. But what made it so great was looking back and looking at all of the hard work we put into getting there. And if there's one bit of advice I can give to anyone, to any married couple, is that you should never be afraid of having an uncomfortable conversation. So a lot of times we are afraid of hurting our partner if we are not happy with something. But for me, one of the biggest breakthroughs in our marriage was when I sat my husband down and I said, I love you. I'm not happy. We need to fix this. Let's make it work. And instead of him getting upset, he looked at me and he said, "Ashley, how could you think I would get upset if you don't tell me these things? I don't know to fix it."
Yeah.
Can you think of never be afraid?
Can you think of a low point in your life that you feel really very low? It could be work related or just personal things that without him being there for you, you're not going to be able to survive it or to pass through it.
Yeah. So there was a time where I was feeling really, I was having a really hard time adjusting to being married. It was when we first got married.
And how long have you been married?
We've been married for 6 years now.
Wow.
But I lived with my mother, as a lot of Hispanic girls do, till the day before I got married. So I grew up with my mom. My mom was a single mom. So she was like everything. So when we first got married, I was worried about my mom, and I missed my mom, and I was so depressed. Like I would try to sweep the floor, and I would cry because I was just so depressed. And I didn't want to see a doctor about it. I didn't want to do anything about it. And then my husband was like, "Listen, like if you want to go to a therapist, if you want to talk to somebody about it, like go ahead and do it." And there would be nights where I would cry, but he would just hold me, or he would just be there, or he would just let me cry, and he wouldn't make me feel judged for not being a happy newlywed, for not thinking that living with him was the greatest thing on the planet. He didn't judge me. He just supported me and was there and was very patient with me, so patient with me. And
wonderful.
Yeah, he's just great.
What are your dreams for the future together?
I just would like us to pay off our student loans.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
And I think the viewers can relate to that also. So.
Yes. Student loans, the American struggle. I would love for us to be able to pay off our student loans, and just not have to not have to worry about paying them, and just eventually have a home that's ours, that's not too big, just enough, and some dogs, and I don't know, just be happy.
Yes, yeah. And I think you're happy already, but if there are, just like what we spoke about in the very beginning, those are the three things that basically added. And as a person and as a human being, we become happier if we have these things, But
I just want us to be healthy and together.
That's true.
And to have my mom living with us, because
you miss her a lot.
Having my mom
You still have a, what is that? What do you call that, baby? Baby Yum Yum? A separation issue. Separation anxiety. That's what it is. Thank you.
And let me tell you something. This is something I love about my husband. I know I've talked about my husband a lot. My husband adores my mother, and I adore his parents. You know? So for me, my parents are so important. My father is just the greatest man, and my husband loves them. And I don't, like, if I wanted to buy something for my mom, or if I wanted to get something for my mom, a lot of times he'll think about it too, and I don't even have to ask him. He just thinks about my family and takes care of my family, and I love that. So
that's good. That's good. Yeah. All right. Let's pretend that I am holding a mirror. I cannot grab anything on my side. So if this is a mirror, what do you see?
Me?
About yourself.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yes.
All right. I see. Oh, geez, this is a really difficult question,
yes,
Marley.
I really want to ask you that.
I know I've never asked you that before. Okay, so I see someone who is working hard to just try to figure things out. I still don't have it all figured out. Who has a lot to work on. I have a lot to work on with myself. But who is filled with love, and I honestly feel joyful, and it's very strange at this time during COVID-19. I feel peace.
I think we all learn a lot about this pandemic. It makes us feel more human, even with the social distancing and everything. But I think we became much closer to our family and to our friends.
I feel like we've had to become more intentional
exactly.
about reaching out to people and caring about each other. Because before it was like, oh, I can see you. I can see you at work. I don't have to call you. I'm going to see you at work, or I'm going to see you at church. I don't have to see how you're doing. But now we have to. We have to reach out to one another and be intentional about our connection.
If you had the power to solve one and only one problem in the world, it's a very difficult question. What would it be and why?
Only one?
Yeah. You cannot solve everything.
Okay.
Only one.
I would. Only one problem. I would.
There's a lot, right?
Oh my word! I would wish that everyone had enough to at least have like a home. Like it breaks my heart when I see children who are homeless, and so I would, of course, like you said, I can't solve everything, but I would wish that everyone could at least have
a home,
a home, food, and the basics.
Food, yeah, exactly, the basic ones, and good health too. Okay, if you won 1 million tomorrow, what would you do with the money?
Pay my student loans.
I know, I was about to say that. All right, I can't believe it. Only 4 minutes left, Ashley. So before we say adieu, I would like our viewers to hear you one more time. Is it okay?
Sure.
All right, so, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We were just like talking before the live, and now it's already like 4 minutes to go. We should have a part two of
We
this
should. I
conversation.
love talking to you, Marlon.
I know.
Really.
Thank you.
You're
I
just a
enjoyed.
different
I enjoyed
You
it.
paid me to say that.
Yeah. Okay, so let me introduce you again. For those who just tune in to MJ Make My Day, before I introduce our special guest for tonight, I would like to say thank you very much to 1120 Consultants and of course Life's Next Chapter Foundation, Usapang Kalye, Kalye 11, Kalye Natics. Please don't forget to subscribe to MJ Make My Day YouTube channel, youtube.com//forward MJ Make My Day, and of course MJ Make My Day Facebook page to please subscribe, comment, and like our MJ Make My Day show. Are you
Can
ready?
I make a request
Sure.
too? Can I make a request? I would love if you guys follow me on Instagram. Like, say hi. I'm Songbird Social Worker on Instagram.
What is that again?
Say
Have to
hi.
repeat that.
It's Songbird Social Worker.
Social Worker IG.
Yep, on Instagram. So
Okay.
follow me, say hi, and hopefully we'll do a part two. I would love to.
Oh
do a
yeah,
part two.
oh, definitely. All right,
For
but we have to
sure.
repeat that one more time. Please follow Ashley E on Songbird Social Worker on Instagram. Okay. All right, please. Let's give her another round of applause, Ashley E.
I think we're having a technical difficulty. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
I am unwritten. You read my mind. I'm undefined. I'm just beginning. Hand in my hand. Ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window. Let the sunroom remains a web that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance. So close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Treat yourself in words unspoken. Live your life without wide open. Today is where what begins. The rest is still unwritten. Yeah. I break tradition. Sometimes my pride are at that line. Yeah. We've been conditioned, not make mistakes, but I can't live that way, no. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find, reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it, release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin, no one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in, no one else can speak the words on your lips. Trick yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your love begins. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Trick yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your love begins. The rest is still unwritten. Oh,
Everybody, Ashley. Yay! Amazing. By the way, I would like to say shout out, happy birthday to Ana Liza Samonte Ignacio from Antipolo City, Philippines, Samaka family. All right, you're watching us live to you. Okay, you're watching live from New Jersey and of course, nanonood din po kayo sa Japan, Philippines, syempre from San Francisco, California, kay Ate Elma, Ali Barreto, thank you very much. To my friend Kumal, to Kay, she's my friend, okay? Anyway, happy birthday again to Anna from Samako family. Okay, Ashley, any best piece of advice before we say farewell to them?
my best piece of advice I could give you is to not run away from things that scare you. Don't run away from having uncomfortable conversations. Don't run away from taking a chance. Take the chance, say what you have to say, and just trust the process.
Exactly. All right, give it up for Ashley. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already an hour.
It just flew.
I know. What happened with the time? Okay, so thank you very much once more time, everybody. This is MJ Make My Day, episode 11 with the one and only Ashley. And of course, before we end, I would like to share this to you. The story of the human race is the story of men and women selling themselves short by Abraham Maslow. Human life will never be understood unless its highest aspirations are taken into an account. Growth, self-actualization, the striving toward health, the quest for identity and autonomy, the yearning for excellence, and other ways of phrasing the striving upward must by now be accepted beyond question as a widespread and perhaps universal human tendency. Again, my name is MJ and you're watching MJ Make My Day, and this is our episode number 11 with, of course, Miss Ashley. And thank you very much, everybody, and have a best weekend ever. Let's start and party. And don't forget, next week, my guest is none other than Miss Amira Ala. Magkikwentuhan po tayo, magkakantahan, at nako, may actingan pa. Kaya huwag niyo pong kalimutan. Again, everybody, let's give a big round of applause worldwide to Ashley!
Thank you, everyone.